Oh, yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a look at the brand new Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Autobot Tracks. Tracks is a new Deluxe class toy in the third wave of Kingdom, and he's number 26 in the Kingdom toy line. This is an all-new mold, and the first one we've received for Tracks since his old, I think, Reveal the Shield toy back in early 2000s, mid-2000s. And the Masterpiece toy, which I was fortunate enough to get a few years ago. So if you've seen my reviews before, you know how this goes. We're going to take a look at Trax' packaging. They'll open it up, we'll see the instructions, we'll see the Fate Reveal card, which is hopefully something new, and then we'll see Trax himself in both vehicle, flying vehicle, and robot modes. I'll be doing some comparisons with his Masterpiece counterpart today because that is the only other version of this toy I own. And then at the end of the video, I'll give my final thoughts. So Trax comes in your standard Kingdom packaging. You get a little half window here where you can see his upper torso, his shoulders, his head, and all that. And then you get the really cool wraparound artwork. I really love this for Kingdom, by the way. At first I was skeptical about them shrinking the window size because you can't see the whole toy. You don't know if maybe like a leg is broken. And I mean, this still holds true. But I mean, you gotta admit, this looks really cool. Normally in, Transformers toys, they only get either the robot mode or the alt mode as an illustration or a picture. And now we're getting both. I think it's a really nice touch. And the artwork's really good too. I really like this drawing of Trax. The face is great, the coloring, all that, really, really good. On the top, standard stuff, little Autobot cave drawing, weird symbols. On the back, we get renders for Trax in his vehicle and robot modes. He takes 21 steps to transform, and they also show off his little flight mode there. And then when we turn around here, we get, surprise, surprise, your standard Kingdom side panel. All right, so here's the golden disc card that came with my Trax. This is for the Autobot Arc. So previously, we've seen it become the Dark Arc and crash into Mount St. Helen there, like in the old cartoon. This time around, oh, look at that. It's a new one. Reveals a robot mode. So, spoilers, guys. Geez, some people haven't seen the show yet. But yeah, that's good. We do get a new card here. It's not the same two, boring old Destinies. This actually shows the Arc transforming into its Titan-class robot mode that, we've reviewed here previously. So, pretty cool little Fate reveal. I mean, we saw it coming, right? We kind of expected with the toy coming out in this line, but still really neat. I still really like this box art. This is the artwork from the box where he's holding little Megatron here. So, yeah, it's better than getting something old, right? Now we get our instructions for Trax. Get a nice render of the toy on the front. His name, number, logos, all that fun stuff. Open this up. This is a weapon placement bit here. Shows you how to store his little double-barreled cannon thing on top. Put his blaster in his hand. And we just go straight to the transformation to car mode. Finishes up here. Shows you how to attach his weapons for storage. I can stop dropping this. Yeah, sadly, he's just another case of them slapping weapons on top of the car. No clever storage or anything. They're just there. And then we get a second transformation to his flight vehicle mode, which is really just a halfway transformation between car and robot. But, it's something that's just been around since the original, so it's good that they included it here. So here's our vehicle mode. You can see it's a Corvette-inspired four-wheeled car. You get the weapon storage here on the back, which, it's decent, right? It looks like it's kind of supposed to be there as some sort of attack mode. But you can always take it off if you'd like to. Just have a 5mm port here. You get a back windshield that you can actually see through, which is actually, honestly, kind of rare for a retail Transformer. Normally, if they have a windshield, it's like painted black or something. But it's clear. Clear windows, clear front windshield, so that's nice. He's got his traditional Autobot symbol with like the flame wings on it. Now, unfortunately, they opted for the more simplified cartoon take where it's just red instead of the more elaborate like red and orange or yellow with like black outlines and all that. I would have preferred them going with the more elaborate design, but they've really leaned heavily into that cartoon aesthetic. It's some really nicely painted, looks like headlights, kind of more of a grill. Actually, no, these are the headlights. And they're down right now. Corvettes have the headlights that flip up. So the headlights are just down. This is like the grill bit that's painted a really nice matte black color. I really dig that. Looks very premium. can see some gray panels underneath that do show in the car mode a little bit, but not too bad. Nice wheels, though unfortunately they have the whole peg-through issue that a lot of these... Oops, didn't plug that in. A lot of these War for Cybertron toys have. Now, instead of a plastic peg, this time at least it's a pin. So it's a little less unsightly, but still just... God, it kills me. But the rims that are there are very nice looking. They're well painted. Still no painted taillights, though the little like back wings become part of the taillight, so they would have to paint a lot there. And he's got like a faux license plate thing, but it's not painted either. Overall, not too bad. About what you'd expect for a modern Deluxe, right? Kind of light on the paint, heavy on the sculpted detail. Overall, it's pretty nice. And of course, you always have the option of having his weapons on here too. Just making it a little more offensive in his vehicle mode. Right now we get our comparison shot with the Masterpiece Tracks figure. And unlike our retail toy, this one actually is a licensed Corvette. You can see it's got the logo right here on the front. It's got it on the back as well. And obviously being a Masterpiece, it's a lot more heavily detailed, right? A lot prettier. The paint's nice and shiny. The wheels are much better looking. The taillights are actually painted. Still no license plate. I still got the painted grille, so that's good. And he has the much more intricate flame pattern that I mentioned. This is what, you know, more or less what the original toys look like. It's also the one that they used for the, was it Generations, or I think Reveal the Shield tracks that I sadly don't have. But they went for the more elaborate design on that one too. So there are some things, you know, I'd say overall the Masterpiece does look better in this mode, though, you know, it's a Masterpiece toy. They typically do look better than a standard retail release. At least the old ones did. I'm not super crazy about newer Masterpiece. But there, you can see that comparison. The body shape's quite a bit different, as you can tell, which, you know, part of that is to differentiate this toy from a Corvette so they don't run into licensing issues. But also just, you know, very different transformations are going to make for differently proportioned toys. But both of them look good for what they are. You know, you got a $20 to $23 toy, and this one was, what was Tracks back in there, like 50-ish, 50 or 60 for the Masterpiece, which, you know, a lot less than what they run for now. So there that is. All right, let's go ahead and transform Tracks into his aerial vehicle mode. It's pretty simple. First thing you want to do for now, just remove these. You're going to pop his arms free from the vehicle mode, like this. Rotate him down. Try to get that free. All right, I'm going to swing these out, like so, all the way straight out. Bring the arms in while leaving the wings out. Rotate the forearms to where the yellow and red painted parts are facing up. Just put them straight along the side there. And then you just want to bring the back fins up. So you, if you can, there we go. Swing up like that. Do it for this one. All right, kind of make sure everything's still nice and tight together. And here we go. This is his aerial vehicle mode. You can opt to place his weapons on top again if you want to have him armed and be able to shoot at things while he's flying around. Or we can compare him to a Masterpiece toy. And for the most part, these are pretty much doing the same thing. Both have the wings all flipped out. The Masterpiece toy actually secures the arms to the side of the vehicle with tabs, whereas on our new toy, they just kind of hang off to the side. Not a big deal. I mean, they're firm enough to where they're not like flopping around. One big difference is that the Masterpiece toy comes with an extra accessory that attaches to the front of the car, which is just the little like flip out gun barrel thing. Now, our new toy doesn't come with anything like that, and there's no way to attach any of his blasters to the front to mimic that. So, unfortunate, but again, you know, Masterpiece toy, Deluxe toy, you're not going to get every feature for, you know, the basic version of the character. But I think he does the flying mode well enough. I think it, you know, works for what it is. I mean, it was always kind of goofy looking anyway, but it's easily a very good interpretation of that mode. All right, now it's time to transform Tracks into his robot mode. We're going to start from the flight mode just because it's kind of like halfway there already. Alright, so flip the fin pieces back in. You won't need them again. Make sure they pop in all the way. Be kind of a tight fit. But these white pieces should be pretty much all the way back through these holes here. Alright, so you got that. You want to lift this windshield section up off of the car hood. And it's kind of a tight fit, so be careful. And a lot of people have been, you know, possibly having some breakage issues with this piece. This is all clear plastic. So I would carefully feel it out, wriggle this thing loose. It's attached via like a tab right under here that you can't see right now, but see it here in a moment. Try to get a good hold of this thing. Let it loose. It's making me nervous. Making me very nervous. That really doesn't want to come out. Okay, come on, buddy. Don't break on me now. Don't break on me. Make me very sad. Ooh. Alright, let's see what we can do here. It's a little nerve-wracking. I'm really afraid I'm going to break this thing. Okay. Oh, there it is. I didn't break anything. that little crack scared me, though. Not gonna lie. A little freaked out. Woo! Okay. So we got it up. We just need to... Yeah, it's kind of tabbed on these little side areas too. So lift it up. Here we go. Spin that around. Let's go ahead and swing this down while we already are messing with this part. Again, be very careful. Bunch of hinges on clear plastic. It can be a recipe for disaster. So just get it like that. Let's keep it out of the way for now. Okay, now here, you want to open these gray panels up underneath. You want to go ahead, swing these down up underneath like so. And you're going to accordion the knee out. Swing this the rest of the way up. And you're going to fold these shin panels in with this little white tab going inside the slot here, like so. And now this part, it's a little unstable. There's this really, really short little tab right there that just plugs in here and just tries to hold these in place. Now, it's not a great connection, so you're probably going to get some floppiness on this leg. And it unfortunately just seems to be part of the toy's design. I don't think it's like a one-off or anything, so just be mindful. All right, so swing that around, stretch the leg out, swing it up, get the knee put together here, like so. Attach the bottom of the leg. Okay, so you get these funky looking legs. Okay, gonna spin the waist around like that. Pop his fake car hood chest out. Yep, he uses a fake car hood chest. Always awesome. You're gonna accordion all this upward until it plugs all the way in like this. So it's nice and flush. Fix everything here. And you're just gonna swing the backpack bit down using this tab to go into the slot here to hold it all in place like so. All right, lastly, flip out the fists. Get everything nice and straightened out. All right, let's get them here. All right, and there's our basic robot mode. Now, of course, you want to add some accessories to this to really complete the look. So this little double-barreled thing here goes on top to emulate the two cannons from the original toy and the show and all that. So, you know, they go for a much more simplified design with having this all be one piece, which is unfortunate. And then you get his little classic blaster right here. So here is Tracks. And I will say for, you know, a fairly simple toy, one that takes some shortcuts, he looks really good. I mean, he's instantly recognizable as Tracks, even if not all the details really line up. He does have some stability issues, as I mentioned, especially in the legs here. But as long as you don't, you know, mess with him too much, you can get him posed. You know, just be careful, make sure you're applying pressure in the right places, and you can get whatever poses you want. As far as posability, speaking of that, head is on a ball joint, as usual. He's got a waist swivel, which actually manages to go a full 360 despite the backpack, so that's pretty rare. Universal shoulders, The wings actually move separately from the arms, but because of friction, they'll tend to move with them. It's got bicep swivel, single bend elbows, no wrist swivel. Or does it? No, maybe. Nope, no wrist swivel. Looked like it for a second. He's got universal hips, all that. Single bend knees, thigh swivel. And he has ankle rock and tilt. Now, of course, he has a big old gap underneath his ankles, which is actually pretty similar to the Masterpiece toy that you see here in a moment. But it does allow a great deal of posability, and is not the worst looking ankle tilt I've ever seen. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the robot mode. Like, it's a little fiddly. The Masterpiece toy is also pretty fiddly, though, so I'm kind of used to it with Tracks. I think the presentation is really, really nice. He's got some interesting 5mm ports, like on the tops of his shoulders here. One up here, one in the back. Of course, the bottom of the feet. That's pretty universal now. Even for like the non-War for Cybertron stuff, the 5mm ports in the feet have become just kind of a new design philosophy. So yeah, overall, really dig the robot mode. Here's our robot mode comparison with the Masterpiece toy. And you can see overall design, largely very similar. A lot of the painted details and all of that are present on both. The Masterpiece does have more paint apps, right? He gets the kneecaps painted. He gets more paint here in the little pelvic area. The forearms match up pretty well. That's not too bad. Our Masterpiece toy actually uses a flip-out Autobot symbol on the car hood so that it's not showing in robot mode and makes for better disguise. Because this guy uses a fake car hood chest, he doesn't have that requirement. This is all just hidden away during the actual vehicle mode. Sadly, you can see a lot of paint detail is lost on the wings here compared to how it should look. And you can see the Masterpiece toy actually has like the proper separate cannons mounted on the back. But again, comparing a Masterpiece toy to a retail release, I think that he just works really well for the price point. He's got almost as much posability as Masterpiece counterpart. The biggest difference is really in the hands, right? Lack of wrist swivel, and of course, Masterpiece toys tend to have opening fingers, whereas most retail toys don't, especially not at the deluxe level. But if you are, comparing like for like, this is a very good option for people that, don't have very deep pockets or just don't want to spend a lot on a Masterpiece toy. Especially because, the Masterpiece Tracks is pretty old now, and even though he was one of the cheaper Masterpiece toys of the time, I imagine trying to get one nowadays, after he's been off shelves for a long time, will be fairly expensive. So, if you don't already have this guy, this is probably your only real option, unless you want to spend a mint. This completes our look at the new Kingdom Tracks toy. Overall, I'm very pleased with this toy. It's not perfect by any means. It has some fragility issues that are a little scary. Also, I just noticed the hole in his forearms goes straight through. So dock some points for that. I didn't catch that till now, but bad Hasbro. Completely empty forearms is never good. Which reminds me, the new HasLab Victory Saber just got approved and fully funded and all that, which is great. Also, the Inner Saber robot, completely hollow forearms just like this for a HasLab toy. A $180 HasLab toy, folks. Hollow forearms. Not happy about that. I still backed it. That's not a deal breaker, but like that needs to be a higher standard there. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, so he's got some fragility issues, especially, in the backpack section. Transforming him out of car mode, especially, like into car mode, not so bad. Trying to undo that connection, really nerve-wracking. I was pretty convinced I was about to break this thing during the review. So I don't like that. Now, of course, the trade-off to having that fragility is he does get some really nice clear windshield, so he does look really good in his vehicle mode. The flight mode, again, it's exactly what you'd expect it to be. So as long as you don't just hate it for what it is, it's totally fine. And then the robot mode looks very, very nice. He's got a huge backpack, but he's, Tracks always has a big old backpack that, hangs over his head like that. I'm not crazy about the, back cannon solution, how they just made it the one simple piece. I don't know what you could do, differently. Maybe put like 5mm ports on each side and then just have like two separate small, cannons with 5mm posts on them, or 3mm, or, whatever would work. I would prefer that over like the more centralized turret thing, but again, not a huge deal breaker. Little pistol is nice. Would have preferred if it was done up in a gray or silver, but black is okay. At least it, stands out a bit from his hands. And overall, I think he looks very good. The legs are a little floppy. Not too bad, right? You can see he obviously stands up very well on his own. Not a real problem. And I'm pretty happy with the purchase, and I can't wait to, review his retool that just came out as well, the Kingdom Road Rage toy. It was going to be very similar, minus a new head. And, I'll get to group these guys together, have some fun with them. Hopefully not break either one during that review. Fingers crossed. So, yeah, if you don't already have this guy, I think you'll be very pleased with him, especially if you're a fan of the Tracks character and you've been waiting for, a good update to the toy. Just be very, very mindful of that backpack and how fragile it is. It's scary. If you're not someone who really cares about transforming your toy and just want the robot to display, I would just not transform it, honestly, because bad things might happen. I mean, I don't know how likely it is to break. I don't know how close I came to actually breaking mine, but it didn't feel good, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like it was getting a little close to something cracking. So, do with that information what you will. But I think, either way, he's, a pretty good toy. I think you'll enjoy having him. Of course, as always, that's just my opinion. Now I want to know what you all think of Tracks. Does he meet your expectations? Does he not? Does the fragility issue act as a deal breaker for you? Are you too scared to, break it? Or how about the leg issue? Is that, something you don't like? I know a lot of people complain about the legs. Or are you just happy with it and you like it for what it is? Any and all feedback's always welcome in the comment section. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to toss it a like. Let YouTube know you want to see more stuff like this. If you do want to see more like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you always get a heads up when I post something new. I thank you for joining me for this new War for Cybertron Kingdom Tracks review. And with all that said, I will see you next time.